Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Come on down, son.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got it. You got it.
I want to say a very special thank you to my friend and pastor, Reverend A.R. Lee, and the son thereof, Spencer Leak and Spencer Leak Jr. and Spencer Leak the third, fourth.
Yeah.
The family keeps on growing, keeps on coming. I came by today because I wanted to quickly get even.
Better
All
listen.
right now.
Sometimes people think of getting even for those that did you wrong. I've got to get even with those that did me right.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right, go ahead,
So, a
sir.
very special thank you to the Leak family.
Yes, sir.
I've got to recount this story over and over again because Reverend Clay Evans taught us it is dangerous to forget.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So when my father, Mrs. Jacqueline and Jesse Jackson, stopped going to the University of Chicago for their seminary program,
That's right.
and Spencer Leak was the driver for Reverend Martin Luther King in Chicago,
You better listen.
which was not a paying job and not a popular job. Let me take you back to that era. If you
All
will.
right, go ahead.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes,
Take your
sir.
time.
Before they built the walls around Oakwood Cemetery
Yes,
You
sir.
better listen.
on 67th to 71st from Cottage
Yeah.
over to the train tracks, blacks could not be buried in Oakwood Cemetery.
You better listen.
That's right.
There had to be demonstrations and marches led by Spencer Leak and Reverend A.R. Leak Sr.
Yes,
so
sir.
that blacks could be buried less than 2 miles away from here. Our
sir.
nation went through an era of insanity.
You better listen.
Right. That's right.
Blacks and whites could not be buried in Chicago, up north, in Spencer Leak's lifetime.
You better listen.
He brought those walls down. When my father and mother met the Reverend Martin Luther King again, and he says, come and be a part of our movement. I want
That's
your
right.
youth and your energy. And my father says, but I have children, and I'm a student, I'm on scholarship. He says, I will teach you more about the seminary in 6 months than you will learn in the next 3 years.
You better listen.
And that's why he joined his movement full time.
To God.
But he needed housing. And there was Reverend A.R. Leak, who gave my mother and father housing,
Yes, sir.
me, my brother, and my sister.
That's
I
right.
thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
dangerous to forget.
Thanks for the.
Yes, it is.
And I want to say a very special thank you to those in radio that are listening. God bless you. I appreciate your confidence in me for giving me this opportunity in this primary season
Yes.
to have your vote.
Yeah.
17, 18, 20 people showed up. I wasn't concerned about the task in front of us
That's right.
Yeah.
because I knew who was behind us.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
I knew the timing was right, and I knew what the stakes were.
Yeah.
And I asked God, if you choose, please send me.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
We have seen the nation run out of baby formula,
Yes, sir. Said that.
and bullets and guns are flying off the shelf.
You better listen.
Yeah.
We're seeing outrageous and egregious behavior in our everyday. This morning at 7:30 this morning, I'm driving southbound on Lakeshore Drive at 7:30, coming from a breakfast meeting. And I saw a car accident at 46th and Lakeshore Drive going northbound.
Yeah.
So I pulled over to make sure no one was harmed. And there were a lot of cars stacked up. And I saw one person run over the median from the northbound through the southbound and over into the train tracks.
Mama.
Then I saw another person skip and run. Then I saw a young lady with her garments in her hand running over.
Mama.
These young people had stolen a car,
Yeah.
crashed into some people,
Mama.
and were running.
Mama.
Only to turn on the news to see an officer hurt an injured ear and someone shot over there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to go another way.
Yes, sir.
We got you.
I pledge to you to do my best
Yes, sir.
to bring another generation. It's time for a generation that Spencer Leak was talking about.
That's right.
To
Yes, sir.
assume your right to vote.
You better listen.
And what does that mean to me? I did not want to sit on the sideline and be an analyst for the rest of my days
That's
in my
right.
life.
Thank you.
You have got to get on the field
Got to.
where you're going to get some grass stains, some blood stains. You've got to get on the field.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
The election results hurt my heart to see 20%
Yes.
voter turnout.
Yes.
Amen.
Follow that what Reverend Leak just shared with you. The minority selects
Yeah.
who will be your leader.
You better listen.
Yeah.
That means people lost by default.
Yes.
That's right.
I've told my children oftentimes in school, Reverend Leak,
Yeah.
there's only one F you
Uh-huh.
cannot get.
Yeah.
You may fail to understand. You might have forgotten it because you didn't read it.
All right.
But the only F you cannot get is forfeiture.
You better listen.
Say that. Say that.
When you don't show up
Yeah.
You better listen.
by forfeiture,
Yes, sir. Speak.
don't curse the dark, light your candle, do something.
Yes, sir.
I knew the headwind that I faced when I started running.
Yeah, you did.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, you did.
Jackson this, Jackson that. People had a lot of stuff to say about my family.
You better listen.
Yeah.
You better listen.
Yeah.
People had a lot to say.
Yes, sir.
That did not deter me because I knew the substance and the good that was there.
You better listen.
I was determined to run on in spite of, regardless of.
That's right.
Because I know what the truth can.
All
You
right.
better listen. You better listen.
I want that to be an example for many others. Many may talk about you, but get up,
Get up.
Sir.
stand up,
Thank you.
show up.
All right.
I would not have gotten an F by forfeiture for failure to even try.
You better listen.
I knew I was going to try.
Yes,
It
sir.
was in God's hand and the people's hands
Say that,
on who
son.
would be the victor.
that.
But I was willing to try.
Yeah.
I want that to be the takeaway today.
Yes,
Willing
sir.
to try.
You've got some friends and some family members. They need to be willing to try.
Yes, sir.
If you can, find your local housing authority board,
You better
All right.
listen.
Say
your
that.
block club board,
Yeah.
your automatic board.
Thank you.
Some people aren't against you. Some people aren't thinking about you.
Yes.
Some of the people that we have that are going downtown
You better
don't
listen.
even know we exist.
You better listen.
That's
You
right.
better
They
listen.
have stopped representing you a long
Time
Yes,
ago.
time ago.
All right now. Say that.
They're not against you in downtown. Sometimes we're not bringing it and saying what it is that we want.
You better listen.
Yeah.
When we have our major department stores that sell us food and clothing, undergarments,
Yeah.
Target, a Fortune 50 U.S. corporation,
Yeah.
pulls out of the South
You
Side,
better listen.
and
Gone.
there's not even a whisper.
You better listen.
Gone.
I saw the trend better than 30 years ago when the world's largest convenience chain,
Yes.
7-Eleven,
Yeah.
pulled off of the South Side.
My Lord.
I didn't know what to think of it,
Yeah.
but they pulled off. You do know 7-Eleven operates in Chicago.
You better listen.
That's right.
You
Yes,
do
sir.
know they operate even on the South Side.
That's right.
But you do know they don't operate on the South and the West Side in the black community.
You better listen.
They do not. Yes, sir.
You
Speak.
see that Whole Foods closes in Inglewood.
You better listen.
That's right.
When you see that all these closes on 76th and Ashland.
Talk. Yes, sir.
How can you have a food desert?
All right.
And I don't even like that sanitized word for racism in agriculture.
You better listen.
How can we not have access to food? Now, what does that mean that you don't have a grocery store in your neighborhood?
All right.
That means that your housing properties are going down
You better listen.
Yes, sir.
because nobody wants to move there.
Yeah.
What does it mean when you don't have a grocery store in your neighborhood?
Big.
That means women's health will get worse,
Yes.
not better.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
What does it mean not to have a grocery store in your neighborhood? That means children will be born sicker,
Mama.
not healthier.
Yes.
I was looking at a nature channel the other day and I didn't realize that the baby, when it's in the womb, it has to take all the nutrients from the mother, and the way nature has it set up in God's own wisdom is that the baby takes the nutrients first from the mother. So if the mother doesn't have enough, it starts taking it even off the mother's bones.
That's
Right.
right. That's
The
right.
baby in its fight for life
Big.
has to get all of its nutrients. So when the mother cannot get food,
Huh.
the baby cannot.
All right.
And
say
what
that.
little food there is, the baby is even going to strip out of the mother.
Yeah.
So the mother's going to be sick.
Mama. Tell it.
What does it mean when you don't have a grocery store in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
And you've got a Department of Agriculture
Huh.
in this district, or the first district that ranges 60 miles
Yes,
long,
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
from the
sir.
south end of the loop to almost Kankakee.
Tell
When
it.
you don't have a grocery store and you got farmland within the district,
You better listen.
Right.
you got the urban consumers and you got the rural producers in the same district.
Yeah.
We're going to get some food back in Inglewood.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. All right. Yes, sir.
What does it mean when the shopping stores close and the grocery stores close and the no businesses are opening and there are no cranes in the skies and
Tell it, tell
vacant
it.
lots are expanding? I love this city and I love our neighborhood.
Say that.
We have got to turn it around.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be coming back to you because I'm going to highlight these issues and
Yeah.
I'm going to need your help.
Yes, sir.
This is the very first step of a long road to go.
Yeah.
When I look at our children in these neighborhoods,
Tell it.
you know, it takes 20 years to create a healthy, whole
Yeah.
human being.
You better listen.
You can't do it in one summer.
No, sir. Say that.
You got to have a long-term plan.
Yeah.
The reason I was so upset in 2013 when they closed 50 elementary schools
You better listen.
on the south and west side.
Yeah.
Did that make our neighborhood safer?
No.
No.
Who needs to make money for profit off of children going to school?
You better listen.
Go ahead.
Why did that bother
Tell
me
it.
so much on these for-profit, specifically charterizations of schools? And
Yeah.
because I'm speaking, they're going to be coming after me.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
waiting.
yeah.
Go- we waiting.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
right. We're with you.
understand this. My parents did not have the means to give me a speech pathologist.
Yeah.
But by law, in the public schools, you have to give the child all the services that they need.
Yeah.
It was only because I was tapped out of the regular class and while other children went to play at the recess,
Tell it.
and I was able to see a speech pathologist and say tush, should, could, ruh, and be able to untie my tongue. Am I
Mama.
able to speak today?
Yes, sir. You better listen.
Say that.
In these
Tell that.
for-profit public schools,
Yeah.
that is discretionary.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, given the chance between making more money and putting more money into
Tell it.
children,
Tell
what
it.
do you think happens?
Yes.
They say it doesn't fit the budget.
All right.
So I'm telling you, our children are underinvested.
Yeah.
They've had divestment.
All right.
When you look at these schools,
Yeah.
where the pools aren't filled.
You better
When you look
listen.
at these schools and the tennis courts
Tell
don't
it,
have
Johnny.
coaches.
Tell
You better
When
listen.
you look at these schools and the gyms don't have coaches.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why they're running around all night long.
You better listen.
I'm not.
We have not put the necessary investment in human development.
Yes.
Well, with your help and God's blessing, this is only the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
When I
sir.
started this journey, I first called Reverend Leak,
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
and he was manning the shop, making arrangements late
Yeah.
at night. And without any invitation, I knew to just show up. And
Yes,
I was
sir.
next in line.
Yeah.
And he's always maintained that.
Yes, sir.
And then I came in there, and to his surprise, he said, "Son, I see you. I just told Spencer I want you to run for that seat."
That's true, Steve. True.
He said, "I just told my son." And I said, "Reverend Leak, I think I want to do it." He says, "You're the right person for
That's
this
right.
job." And it's been the last 5 months. It's been exhilarating. It's been exciting. I've met so many wonderful people. We have so much work to do.
Yeah.
And I just can't help but say, thank God, thank God,
Thank God.
I look forward to this next chapter. I want to thank my mother and father, Reverend and Mrs.
Thank
Jacqueline
them.
Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I want to thank Brother E. Mill Jones.
Yes, sir.
Brother E. Mill Jones has been
That's
absolutely tremendous. And there have been so many people. So I'm going to ask you in leaving, let's get your children and your grandchildren involved.
Yes, sir.
All right, say that.
When Reverend Leak says only 20% voted, let me tell you how that works. There's 707,000 people in the first district, for example.
All right.
435 people in the Congress, 100 people in the Senate, 2 other federal elected officials, president, vice president, makes 537. That's the whole pool. And they divvy up each district, do reapportionment
All
per
right.
state, and they come back to figure out how many people are likely voters. Then they go into a thing called 4+.
You better listen.
Voted in the last primary, general.
All right.
And let me tell you, that's the universe.
You better
So
listen.
out of that 707,000 residents, where there are 400,000 people that can vote, they're only going to mail to 40,000 people because they're the ones that voted in the last 4 elections.
You better listen. You better listen.
All right, say that.
Vote.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say it one more time.
One more time.
Out of the 707,000 people in the district,
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
700.
out of the 400,000+ people that can vote,
Yeah.
when they look at who voted in the last 4 consecutive elections, and they can say primary, general, primary, that is the 4+ voter group.
That's right.
That is the ones that they target.
That's right.
And the way this software is now, it is so sophisticated.
You better listen.
All right, son.
So you may say, I didn't get any mail. I don't know what's going on.
Because you didn't vote.
The statisticians say you don't count.
That's right. You better listen.
Say that.
You're like, I only missed one. No, then for the dollar they did have to spend, they only put it on the people. So you can sit right there in the same apartment, same unit next to someone and get no mail
You better listen.
because
Yeah.
they have written you off because
Yes.
you have not voted. It gets even worse than that. You could have voted 4 times.
Yes, sir.
You and I, black and white. And they can go into the software and say, just send this to the white voter.
You better
and not
listen.
to the black voter.
You better listen.
Because that's who I think I'm trending stronger with on the demographics.
You better listen.
Yes, sir.
Good teaching.
That's
Good
why-
teaching.
That's why he's our congressman.
That's right.
So in this business, an angry voter is a good voter.
You better listen.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you ain't on fire and you ain't hot, you really ain't moving the deep.
Thank you.
You
Thank
better
you.
listen.
Thank
And
you.
what happened in this last election cycle in the state of Illinois? Be clear. The progressives won
You better listen.
Yeah.
and the Trumpsters won.
You better listen.
They have a red hot white heat
You better listen.
voter profile that's coming to the polls.
You better listen.
Say that, son.
We've got to excite
Tell
our
the
base
truth.
and give people the energy and reasons to come out.
You better listen.
Tell
And
it.
if for no other reasons, you better stop that train that's coming.
You better
When
listen.
we talk about Roe versus Wade, they're too narrowly defining it as a woman's issue.
It's not.
Yeah.
That's a family health issue.
You better listen.
If a woman has cancer
Oh my God.
and has to have chemotherapy
Yeah.
and she's pregnant, do you realize in Ohio and in Indiana
You
right
better
now,
listen.
the doctor cannot give her chemo because she's pregnant because they cannot proceed with having an abortion.
You better listen.
All right.
Now, if they want to make it fair, and I like 2 sides to every equation,
All right.
if you're going to force a woman to term that might have had some incest, might have had many other life circumstances,
Yeah.
should you have forced vasectomies for men?
You better listen.
All right.
Say that again.
If they say life begins when there is inception and you can see the sperm hit the egg
Yeah.
and now life is conceived, should there be mandatory testing for all men so you start
Thank
paying
you.
for
You better listen.
health care on day 1?
You better
You
listen.
know what child
From
is
day
coming into
one.
the world?
You better listen.
All right.
We have to stop policing the womb.
You better listen.
All right. Speak, son.
I'm
Speak.
gonna let you all go. But I want to say to my friend and Pastor Lee, and I thank you all so much. You've been so gracious and kind. You've kept these doors open.
Yes,
And
sir.
you've made a platform for so many people.
Yes, sir.
And the story I shared at the very beginning, what you did for the Jackson family, you've done it over and over
Thank you,
and over
son.
again.
Thank you.
And I'll never be able to catch up
Thank
to
you.
all the goodness that you've done, Reverend Lee.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, and I thank you.
God
It's
bless
time
you.
truth speaks.
Yeah.
All right.